Welcome! This module is designed to introduce you to the basic authoring features of OWLv2. You will learn how to make a simple multiple choice question to add to a quiz, exam, or regular homework assignment. Before we get started, it's important to check your course to see if the questions you want already exist. It is far easier and faster to use the material that has been designed and programmed by our professional developers than it is to write your own questions from scratch. But if you don't find what you need in our extensive question banks or simply want to write your own unique kind of question, you can. The OWLv2 authoring tool has all the features and functions available to our content developers. We're putting the full power of OWLv2 in your hands for the most customized learning experience ever. The other important thing to know is that the OWLv2 authoring tool is optimized for the Chrome browser, so please only use Chrome when authoring. Let's get started. From your Assignments tab in your course, click on Self-Authored Questions. This will open the authoring tool. Notice the left panel contains two tabs, My Questions and My Images. This is where your questions and images will be stored and organized into folders. Click the Create button to author a question. Choose the existing folder where you want your question to be stored, or click on Folder Name to create a new folder. Next, select the desired template from the drop-down menu. Your authoring tool comes with over a dozen pre-made templates for various types of questions. We always recommend, if you're new to authoring, that you start with a template because it will save you time from having to format each of your questions from scratch. Enter the name of your question and click OK. In the left-hand panel, the question you're working on will be highlighted, and in the right panel is where you will build the question. Each of the question templates has this word question, which simply is a placeholder for the question you want to write. So click on the word question and overwrite it with your own question. If you need to format your question text or the answers, use the Format tab. Here, you can change the font type, font size, color, and add things like underline or italicized words. These subscript and superscript formatting buttons come in handy when you're writing chemical formulas. And on the right side, there are some typical paragraph formatting tools such as centering text or creating a bulleted list. Next, we'll input the answers. To do this, double-click on the answer field. Notice that as soon as you do this, you'll see an indication here that you have entered the answer field editor. Enter the correct answer and the other distractors. Notice how this first answer is labeled for me as correct, and all the other answers are indicated as incorrect. If you want to input any feedback for correct or incorrect answers, type it into this Show Feedback area. If you don't put any feedback, the student will just see an indication for which of their answers are correct and incorrect. If you need more than 4 choices, click on Add Choice to add another distractor. If you need less than 4, click on the X to remove one of the options. These arrows here move the order of the answers up or down, but for most questions you'll want to randomize the order instead of having them static, so just leave the freeze option choice set to no. When you're finished, press Save and you will go back to the question panel. Click Preview to see your question. It will automatically show you what's shown for the correct answer, but feel free to test out some of the wrong answers too. If you like what you see, click Save. If you need to make edits, click the Editor button to switch back to the editing panel to make changes. The final step is to make this assignment available in your OWL content, and to do that, you have to publish your questions. This is a really important step. After you publish, you'll see the folders of your self-authored questions as an available option when you are building a new assignment or modifying an existing assignment. One final note, it's a great idea to test out the questions here in the student view after you've added them to the assignment. Be sure to try out different wrong answers and correct answers to make sure the question behaves the way you expect it to. This is especially important for exam questions because a broken question can cause lots of grading issues if it doesn't work. So be sure to test out your questions thoroughly before the assignment is released. These are just the very basics of getting started with OWLv2 authoring. Please see the full authoring guide manual for more information about the more complicated questions such as writing algorithmic variables or structure drawing questions.